Good morning, everyone. It is September 30th, 2025. We're going to be doing a daily poll. So this morning we will be doing a poll to see what is the message that Spirit and guardian angels, spirit guides, what do they want us to know as a collective to start our day? And just what do we need to focus on to expand our Christ consciousness? So that's where I'm going to start first. I do have my own deck of cards, Eternal Connections, that I created for that purpose, to expand your Christ consciousness, to help you with introspection, and also to guide you daily. If you just pull one a day, and that's what we're going to be doing on this daily show, is pulling them to help us connect. So we'll be using these first. I'm going to go ahead and pull one for today for September 30th. 2025. What is the message that our spirit guides would like us to know as a collective? What is the message to help us with our Christ consciousness? And we're getting protection and shields from negative around you. So for whoever needs to hear this today, this is for you. Protection and shields from negative around you. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Numerology number today is 7. Introspection. Seek truth and inner wisdom. Beware of a deceiver that may be around you, or a connection in your life that is causing you an unbalanced feeling right now. There's also scripture, Proverbs 6:16, the 7 abominations the Lord hates: a proud look, egotistical, a lying tongue and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. So I feel like that really relates to, yes, probably some of you in your personal lives, there might be someone that you need to really shield yourself, protect your energy. If there's a negative person that's a deceiver, someone that's just not honest around you. So yes, I feel that's for all of us, but also I really think it's speaking about what's going on in the world and with Trump against the evil, the white hats versus good versus evil right now. And that's what we're seeing. But the deceiver part, I think that we're going to see someone come to the surface that is shocking, that we didn't expect to be bad, a deceiver. So I think that that's going to come to the surface when we're talking about global, geopolitical. So I think that also speaks to us, because I did ask as a collective, what do we need to know? I think we're going to see something to that nature, rise to the surface this week. Let's see what else. What is the other message that we can hear from our angels? What would they like us to focus on to help us expand Christ consciousness? Soul's purpose. Soul's purpose is a journey. It's not a destination. So this whole life, we have to remember that. This is the journey, and there really is no destination. We're just experiencing this beautiful life. We're spiritual beings in a physical temple, okay? Just experiencing. As a human, you're here to experience, have fun, and just feel things. Finding your purpose is an ongoing process of self-discovery and exploration. It's okay to not know. And I get asked this all the time in my personal readings about life purpose. Like, what should I be doing? What's my soul purpose? So it's not what you should be doing. That's your set goal. That's what you should be. That's your soul purpose for the rest of end of time. No, we change. We continue to change and evolve. So your life purpose is multiple different things, because look at the person you were at age 18 compared to who you are now. He or she had different life goals. You were a different vibration. Maybe you were awake, maybe you weren't at that time, but you're completely different. So as we evolve and change, so does your purpose. So right now, during this whole awakening, a lot of us are here. We are light workers, and I feel like most of you are, or you wouldn't watch this, but light workers are here, and light workers actually are helping with the Great Awakening. We're here to be the ones that are strong, and the ones that lead the others that are still trying to wake up, and they're trying to understand everything, just as we did when we had to unravel everything. So we're at the front lines. We're supposed to help guide, teach, uplift, all in love too, all from a loving intention, not from hate, not from fighting. We're here to create unity and community and bring people together. But that is all through love. And so that is our all of us have that purpose. So I know that one for sure. We all have that purpose. We're all here to do that, light workers. But also to find your divine purpose. Maybe it's helping children, maybe it's helping animals, maybe it's helping others that were abused, maybe you have a similar situation. Look back. Here's a good tip. Look back at your life experiences, the trials, the tribulations. What did you go through? A lot of that ties into your divine purpose, the great purpose that you're here for. Usually that great divine masterpiece purpose, usually that's towards the end of life. So the older you get, the wiser, of course, but usually you accomplish something great. And I feel like all of us have that within us. And what I mean by that, of course, you've already accomplished things that are great. But what I mean by that is a huge finale. Like it's something that you've helped change someone's life. You've helped put them on the right path, even if it's one person, or maybe it's a ton of people. Maybe it's a whole group. Maybe you're supposed to use your voice and get out and speak and make a difference. Like there's so many different pathways, but during this great awakening, we're in the golden era. It's only going to evolve even further. We're in the era of authenticity. As you can see on social media, everyone can be a creator. Everyone can bring to the table their talents, or whatever it is that they want to share, their information, their stories. So whatever it may be, really think about it. Should you be using your voice and talking about what's happened in your life to inspire others to transform their own? That's a very good possibility for a lot of you. Or is it to get involved in the medical the medical takedown? Are you here in this great awakening to take down the pharmaceuticals and create a healing center, a frequency healing center, or something of that nature, or mystical arts? Like I have a lot of investment. I'm investing my time every day, and I love what I do. But I feel my purpose is, yes, to use my voice, but also to help people be inspired to change, be inspired to learn, to grow about themselves, learning about themselves in order to transform into the greatest version of themselves, whatever that may be, however they picture their future. So I'm here to kind of be a coach, a guide, a life coach, whatever you want to call it. But I feel, as an example, like I use my personal experiences, what's happened to me, to relate to so many of you. And now I understand why I went through so many hard times in my life as well, just like a lot of you, because it's being used now. If I wouldn't have had this chaos back in, like, it was like 2011, I believe, I moved to Pennsylvania. It humbled me, though, big time, and I also got to know a lot of different cultures, and be in a different situations that I just never thought I would ever be in. But that's part of the journey. That's part of the experience. So I got to learn about different cultures, different lifestyles, poverty, having nothing, living in my car for a short time to get away from a bad boyfriend. So like, there's just so many different things that happened, but it all makes sense because now I can relate to others, and I can help people and coach them and help them get out of it, and evolve out of it, and still find themselves. And that's what it's all about, finding yourself through those darkest times. And when you reflect, when I talk about introspection and reflection and looking back, when you're kind of observing who you were at that time, it is like kind of a replay. You're watching a movie in your mind of how you remember it. But technically things change as you recall and remember something. It might not be exactly the way it was. You might have put a new spin on it. You might have, and that's okay. But when we do that, the healthiest way and the way to evolve from that is not to reflect on, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I wouldn't have married that guy, and all this happened in the abuse and all that. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. That's not the way to reflect or do introspection, to do self-healing. Self-healing needs to be about praise and recognizing your strength and how far you've come, and like really praising yourself for coming out of that and becoming who you are today, the strong person you are today. So that's a lot of the inner work that will also stem from the inner child work. So childhood, also early adulthood, and then so on, and then up until where you are now. But there's so many different versions of yourself that need to be healed. They need to be reflected on, talked about, and just you need to realize how powerful you are. And I don't know who needs to hear this today, but you need to know how powerful you are and that you're unstoppable. And whatever you've been through, that's just evidence for you. Your angels, your guides, that's evidence that they want you to see and realize that, well, you made it through that, you can make it through this. And they say, I've always heard it, and I believe it, that God, whatever you may believe in, but I believe that God will not give you more than you can handle. You will always be able to rise above from wherever you are, no matter how hard it may seem or challenging. So you definitely will rise from those ashes. So whoever needed to hear that today, that's just, I needed to speak today. I felt it. So I'll be doing these daily videos. They will be pretty short, as you can tell, about 15 minutes. But thank you all for being here. I do want to share my website if you're interested in a personal reading. My personal readings, a lot of people say, are more like life coaching. So yes, I use my cards as tools, and sometimes I don't. But it's a lot of just whatever's coming through, channeling through. But I also talk with you, and we talk about the law of attraction. We talk about evolving, also healing the inner child, healing the inner early adulthood. Anything that's really very deep, that's where I like to go. I like to deep dive, and to really try to help and work out whatever kinks are still there that are holding you back. There's blockages that may be holding you back just because you're holding on to an old identity of yourself, So that's what my readings are about. I offer very good variety, you could say. I've got the express readings pre-recorded, so you don't even have to meet with me if you don't want to. You can just write your questions out, and I send you a video. But also the one-on-one, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of inner healing work that you would like to work on, and you just don't have anyone to talk to about it. That's what my specialty is. Yes, I use tarot cards sometimes, and not all the time. I have a crystal ball that I use the energy to really meditate and channel the information. But a lot of times recently, I'm not really using anything, and it's just coming and flowing right through me to help the client get through what they're going through and understand a different perspective. And it really helps them to work on something deep within, to heal that young version of themselves or the version of them now. But this is what I feel the collective needs right now in this Great Awakening, is more so the inner healing, the inner world within us. There's so much noise going on in the world, and it's distracting. But I've been saying this a lot lately, but we need to really come together and help each other with the inner work, and help each other and support each other. So that's what I see. That's what I'm getting. But anyways, thank you all for being here. Again, if you'd like to sign up for a personal reading, I have a lot of specials. I always do discounts because I know times are hard right now, but they're all on my website. And I will see you guys soon. You guys take care, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.